I'm just calling to say I...
If you want to see more PvP content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you will be informed of any time I release new content or go live on YouTube streaming. Thank you guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. What's up guys, Rage Quitting here, back with another video guide for you guys, and this time we're going to go over the Combat Sentinel. Let's go right into the talents here. I like to take Driving Lance. Lance has a 10 meter range on it, and when you use it, it gives you movement speed for 10 seconds. Also, because it has that range, it works a little bit different. Okay, so if you're standing still like this, it'll do this little dash up. And I've actually used that dash to get up onto ledges that other people were standing on. So it has that 10 meter range on it, so as long as you can reach them with the lance, it should be able to port you up to that ledge that they're standing on. Okay. The other way that it works here is if you're moving though, it won't teleport you, so you have to stand still in order to do it. But if you're moving, you can still hit from range like this. Okay, so two ways that skill works. If you're moving around like this and you hit it, it'll work from range, and if you're standing still, it'll rush you into the target. Okay, having that 10 range on it is really nice because as a melee, it is kind of hard to stick onto your targets in PvP running around the map. If you look, for example, this is melee range right here. I have to be this close in order to use my other melee abilities, but I can be this far away and still reach with the lance. Okay, so a little bit of a difference here helps a lot in the long run. Okay, in PvE though, you maybe want to take a different option here. So lance deals additional damage to up to 8 enemies in a cone behind the primary target. So this is just an AoE lance, right? And then the other one here is Zen Lance. When you use it during Zen, Lance doesn't have a cooldown, so you can spam it over and over again. You could take this for PvP as well, because there is some really nice use to that. Since Lance has this ability attached to it called Hinder, what Hinder is, when you hit them with the Lance, you hinder them for 1.5 seconds. For certain classes, it has certain interactions that makes it so that the enemy player can't use certain defensive abilities, right? So, for example, me as a Sentinel, when I get lanced by another Sentinel, or if I get gored by another Marauder, I can't use Force Camouflage. Sorry if you guys can hear that grass cutter dude outside my house right now, but I can't use Force Camouflage if I get lanced. Sorcerers and sages cannot use their big defensive bubble, and it has that kind of interaction with a bunch of different classes, so it stops them from using key defensive abilities that would otherwise make them be able to get away from you or to mitigate damage, right? So having this talent here, let me go ahead and put Lance back on my bar, because when you change talents it goes away for some reason. So let me put this back on my bar. Being able to do that, you can extend that duration of Hinder. So that's kind of, secret OP in PvP, right? Especially if you have other people helping you attack a certain target. If you want to make sure that this sorcerer or sage can't use their oh shit bubble, you can just, oh wait, I have to turn this on first, right? You can just Zen. I did the lance first before I hit Zen, so we're gonna wait for this cooldown. So here we go. You can hit your Zen and then just go ahead and lance, and you're just continuing this hinder debuff on the target, and they can't use their key abilities. So toss up between Zen Lance and Driving Lance, but personally I tend to use Driving Lance more because it has that range and mobility attached to it. So it's just a preference there, but choose how you like. 27 row, we only take Transcendence because we like to use this tactical here. Defel Splice Genes, activating Transcendence, finishes the cooldown of Force Camouflage. Okay, useful in PvE and in PvP. For PvE, mostly for skipping over mobs, right? If you want to skip some things, you can use Camouflage to sneak past and skip over a bunch of mobs. In PvP, obviously you use it to de-aggro from the enemy. Alright, and then since you have Transcendence now, you can activate Transcendence to reset the cooldown of Force Camouflage, and then you can use Force Camouflage again, okay? Stop people from targeting you, and help you move around the map a little bit easier as well, okay? And Transcendence also is a team-wide utility. It gives everybody within 40 meters of yourself increased movement speed by 80%, and it also purges movement impairing effects, so roots and slows, okay? In the 39 row here, Valor Blade. Blade Rush's critical hit chances increased by 20%, and activating Blade Rush reduces the cooldown of Valorous Call by 2 seconds every time you use it. Alright, having this extra 20% on Blade Rush synergizes very well with the next talent that we're going to take, which is Swiftness. Critically hitting increases your movement speed by 5% and your crit chance by 5%. Lasts for 3 seconds and stacks up to 5 times. So if you're spamming Blade Rush, you have a very high chance of increasing the stacks here from Swiftness, which will then give you more movement speed and more crit chance, which is, you know, more damage and more uptime. All right, moving up here, defensive role or intercessor. For PvE, probably intercessor all the time, so that you can just, you know, leap onto mobs, kill them, leap again, okay? Having that additional mobility is really fun, and it also builds more centering whenever you leap, okay? I use this in PvP as well sometimes, because it is really fun to use, and since unranked, especially in unranked war zones, okay, you have a lot of space to cover, the maps are big, so having an extra leap really helps to get around the map and stick onto your targets. But if you're not really worried about that, it's always good to have some damage mitigation from AoE effects with defensive role, since every single class has some sort of AoE, and having reduced damage taken from AoE will help you live much longer, okay? So typically I like defensive role here, but intercessor is also fun too. Alright, moving up in the 64 tree, if you're going to do a lot of PvE content, you probably want Trailblazer. Cyclone Slash deals 15% more damage, so Cyclone Slash is your spammable melee ability that does AoE damage, right? It looks like this. So you stand here and you just cleave a whole bunch of mobs down. It'll do much more damage also if you use it with a Zen and Precision, okay? And you can go ahead and bam, 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 just cleave everything down, okay? And you can just continue to do that as long as you have the resources, alright? But for PvP, it's always going to be Zealous Ward. Activating Saber Ward grants immune to stun, sleep, lift, and in-cap effects for 6 seconds. And then also you get healed for 3% of your max HP whenever you are attacked. The reason why this is really good is because the first 6 seconds when you activate it, you can't be stunned. Okay, that's the most important part right there, because if you didn't know, you can still die when you pop Saber Ward if you are stunned, because essentially when you get stunned, your defensives are reduced to 0, okay? So it'll be as if you don't even have Saber Ward active at all, right? If you pop Saber Ward and then you get stunned, you can still die through Saber Ward because your defensives are reduced to 0. If you're taking this though, when you pop it, you can't be stunned for the first 6 seconds at least. And a lot of people will waste their stun on you during that 6-second window. I've noticed it a few times, and you'll probably notice it yourself, okay? So another very good talent here. Always take Zealous Ward, all right? In the 68 tree, I tend to take Blade Blitz for unranked war zones and for PvE content, just because it's very fun mobility on a very short cooldown, okay? You can use it every 35 seconds. It cleanses you out of roots and slows. And also, during that dashing animation, you are immune to all damage and crowd control and whatever, okay, during that little animation there. So if you get lucky with your timing, you can outplay a lot of abilities with that, okay? But in a ranked setting, Guarded by the Force is much better. You know, reducing the damage you take by 99% for 6 seconds on a 2-minute and 30-second cooldown, okay? Other than being able to force camouflage, you know, pretty often with, you know, resetting Transcendence, you know, and all that, you only have Rebuke and Saber Ward as, you know, defensive abilities, okay? So in a ranked setting, Guarded by the Force, very strong. I take this always in ranked, okay? Having that extra damage mitigation ability to help you live longer, okay? In the 73 row up here, I usually stick with Stoic, increase your damage reduction by 2%, and you build 2 centering when attacked, okay? Building centering when attacked will then let you use Zen much more often. Zen, the only way you can build centering is if you do your out of combat heal, like this. You can see these stacks of centering building up, and when I reach 30 stacks, right now, I can use Zen, okay? And Zen is your primary ability for you to do more damage with your armor pen and all that. And we'll get into the rotation here in a little bit, but primary ability, Zen. You need to be able to use this as often as possible. The only other way that you can build the centering, here, I need to get rid of these 6 stacks first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I just got rid of all my Zen stacks. The only other way to build centering is to use abilities that spend focus. So you can see my stacks are now at 16, 20, 24, 28, and 30. And now I can use Zen again, okay? But since we're taking this passive here, while you're being attacked, you are also building that centering so that you can get your Zen faster, okay? So more Zen faster is good because that means more damage, okay? The other good one here, though, is Incisor, Force Leap, and Clashing Blast, snare the target, reduces movement speed by 50% for 6 seconds. So if you're kind of new to playing melee, or maybe even if you're not, but you also want that extra slow to help you stick onto your targets easier, you could take Incisor here. And this pairs pretty nicely with Intercessor, because now you have 2 leaps, and now every time you leap, you know, you can slow the target by 50% for 6 seconds. Okay, so this is a good pair here to do it this way. Alright, but anyway, that's going to do it for the talents. Let's go right into the gear here. So in the gear, like I said, I like to use Defel Splice Jeans for PvE and for PvP, but obviously you may not need this for PvE content. So the only other one that I would use in its place is the one that has a dot attached to Lance. Honestly, I've never tried it, but looking through the list, that's probably the one that I would take. You know, tech fragments are not the easiest thing to come by, and I have a lot of characters to gear up, so I'm not going to buy that to test it because I always use Defel Splice Jeans anyway, okay? But if you didn't want to use this, I would probably use the one that has the dot attached to Lance, okay? But anyway, moving on from that, Dispatcher's Package. This is the first one that I would buy if you don't have any implants yet, because it costs 6,500 tech frags, and your tech frags are capped at 11,000, so you can only buy one at a time, right? If you had to choose, I would buy this one first. Activating Twin Saber Throw grants Dispatcher's Challenge, making your next dispatch or slash critically hit. And then critically hitting with a weapon attack generates 1 focus. So this kind of helps with your focus management as well. You don't have to use your regular slash ability that generates focus. I almost never use that ability because between Force Charge, Twin Saber Throw, and Battering Assault, that's really all you need. And especially if you have this implant here, you will find yourself not ever needing to hit, you know, that Saber Strike at all, okay? And then also, the auto crit on your dispatch is really nice. So example here, I'm going to jump in here and proc this dispatch with a Blade Rush like this. Now I can use this on a target of any amount of health, but before I do, I'm going to do my Twin Saber Throw to make sure that this auto crits, okay? So auto crits on dispatch after Twin Saber Throw. Okay, very nice for your damage there. The next implant we're going to use is Fearless Victor. Whenever you use a focus spending damage ability, your melee damage is increased by 10% for 10 seconds. This is pretty much all the time. So you pretty much have a 10% damage increase all the time. As long as you're doing damage, you're going to have this buff on you, okay? Alright, and in the stats here, for PvE, you definitely want 110% accuracy. If you have 110% accuracy in PvP, that's fine too. But definitely in PvE, it's more strict with the way the mobs work in you know, Flashpoint content, you know, operations and stuff like that. they have more defense rating than players do, so you need more accuracy. So 110 for PvE, and then a minimum of 105 for PvP, okay? And the rest of it will go into crit, but you want to also make sure that you are above the alacrity threshold of 7.14%. If you didn't know, since you're playing combat, you automatically get a passive 3% alacrity. But anything below the 7.14% threshold is useless because you're not doing anything with your GCD, your global cooldown. At 7.14%, your global cooldown gets reduced by 0.1 seconds. So you want to make sure you're meeting that threshold at the very least, okay? And then anything too high above 7.14% is also useless because it's not effectively doing anything for your GCD. So you kind of want to be as close to that as you can get. So for my character here, I'm at 8%, which is pretty close. All right, and then in the relics here, we're using the procced, on-hit crit one and the on-hit power. Okay, crit and power. All right, guys, getting into the rotation here. Let's go ahead and look at the gear again for the implants. So we need to use a focus spending damage ability in order to get our damage increased by 10% for 10 seconds. And we need to use a twin saber throw to make our next dispatch auto crit. So that means whenever twin saber throw is available, just use it, and that will guarantee that your next dispatch will auto crit. And then also when we leap in, we're gonna get our resources up with Zealous Strike, twin saber throw, and then we're gonna use one blade rush. Okay, that one blade rush is your focus spending damage ability, which will then give you 10% increased damage for the next 10 seconds. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and charge up here to get our Zen. If you don't have time to charge up in PvP, then just go ahead and use your Valorous Call whenever you can so that you can use your Zen for your rotation, okay? If you use Zen with Precision, you get 3 stacks of Armor Pen. If you just use Precision without Zen, then you get 2 stacks of Armor Pen, okay? So you kind of want to try to use it with Zen whenever you can, but things don't go perfectly every time, so you're not going to be able to do that, okay? But anyway, for the rotation here, it's going to be Leap, Twin Saber Throw, Zealous Strike, Blade Rush. Then we're going to use Zen, Precision, Dispatch, Clashing Blast, Lance. Alright? That is the opener. Okay, so here we go. Leap in, Twin Saber Throw, Zealous Strike, 1 Blade Rush, Zen Precision, Dispatch, Clashing Blast, Lance. Alright? That's the opener. Once we do that, now we're just going to watch for the cooldown of Precision. And Clashing Blast will always be ready when Precision is ready. So after that opener, you're just going to spam Blade Rush. And right before Precision is available, we're going to get our resources back up with Zealous Strike so that we make sure that we have enough resources to use our other abilities. Okay, so when Precision comes back up, we're going to Zealous Strike to get our resources up, and then we're going to use Precision with Clashing Blast. Okay, if we're going to use Precision with Clashing Blast and Blade Barrage, because we're not going to have Lance ready and we're not going to have Dispatch, so we have to use another ability to use that second stack of Armor Pen. Okay, so we're going to go from the beginning again and then continue after that, right? The second part after the opener is Blade Rush until Precision's ready, get our resources back up with Zealous Strike, then we'll use Precision, Clashing Blast, Blade Barrage. Okay, so here we go. Leap, Twin Saber Throw, Zealous Strike, 1 Blade Rush, Zen Precision, Dispatch, Clashing Blast, Lance, and now we're going to use Blade Rush until Precision is ready. Zealous Strike is ready, so we're going to Zealous Strike, Precision, Clashing Blast into Blade Barrage. Okay, that Blade Barrage took away that second stack of Armor Pen with from the Precision. Okay, and the only reason why we use Blade Barrage is because Lance wasn't ready, Dispatch wasn't ready. But if you wanted to wait like another 1.5 seconds or something, we would have been able to use the Lance. Okay, but simplifying it down here, what you're doing is you're basically just watching Precision, using Twin Saber Throw on cooldown, and when your Dispatch is ready, you're going to hit precision and use dispatch with clashing blast at the very minimum, okay? The next time precision is ready, if you don't have dispatch, then you're going to use precision with clashing blast and either drive, lance or blade barrage, whichever one is available, okay? Armor pen and use your heavy hitting abilities. In between that, you're fishing for the procs with blade rushes and keeping your resources up with zealous strike, okay? So we'll go ahead and do that one more time. I'm going to use my valorous call here to get my Zen ready. Leap, twin saber throw, zealous strike, 1 blade rush, Zen precision, dispatch, clashing blast, lance. Now we're gonna spam blade rush like this until everything, until precision comes back. Zealous strike, precision, clashing blast, blade barrage, and now we're gonna spam blade rush again, twin saber throw because it's ready, and now zealous strike is coming off cooldown. Zealous strike, precision's ready. Use precision, dispatch, clashing blast, and lance, and then you can go ahead and get everything ready again. This time we have Zen, so this time we're gonna Zen, use precision, clashing blast, blade barrage, and then dispatch was available, okay? Make sure you keep using twin saber throw so that you can auto crit on dispatch, and then you just spam blade rush and zealous strike in between all the big hitting abilities until precision is available again, okay? So we'll do it without Zen here. So I get the procs, twin saber throw, precision, dispatch, clashing blast, okay? Now we're just gonna spam blade rush until things come off cooldown. Precision is almost ready, so we're gonna get our resources up, okay? Zen, precision, clashing blast, lance, and that actually proc the dispatch, so we're gonna dispatch right after that, okay? But that's gonna do it for the guide, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on another one. Peace.
I'm just calling to say I
If you want to see more PvP content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you will be informed of any time I release new content or go live on YouTube streaming. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video.